live side splits, hip mobility, stretching. And we do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to hopefully have me send some good vibes to you, have you send some good vibes into the chat, and we all support each other so that we can make the suffering on the floor that we're about to do a little bit more bearable, a little bit more fun, a little easier to do. And that combination, hopefully, helps us make a whole bunch of progress towards our hip mobility, towards our side split goals, towards moving a little bit better. That's the spiel. We do this every day at 9 p.m. Eastern, so keep on coming back, and I'll see you again soon. Let's go. The first thing we're going to do is warm up. I don't expect you to come in with anything having done anything. So we do 3 warm-up exercises, and the first one is called hip cars. Hip cars are all about taking your leg and moving it through as much range of motion as you can reach using your muscles, your own muscles. And they look a little bit like this. We're going to start with bringing the knee really high, as high as you can, directly in front of you. We're going to open up that hip. If you need help with balance, you can hold on to a wall. We're going to open up that hip directly to the side, either left or right. Keep the knee as high as you can. From here, we're going to rotate that leg. We're going to hide the ankle first, right behind the knee. I'm going to turn around so you can see what's going on with that leg right now. That leg is horizontal. I want you to keep going. I want you to bring the ankle up, 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 up. And once you're as high as you can, bring that leg down and back. So from the front, it looks like this. From the side, we're doing this. Pulling that hamstring, or flexing that hamstring, flexing those glutes, pulling this leg back, feeling the stretch in the hip flexor, and that is just one rep. We got 10 to do on the left leg, 10 to do on the right leg. We're going to reverse it. This time I'll try to remember to actually reverse and not go forward some more. Reverse, reverse, let's go. Knee, open, and go up, and go even further up, down and back. High knee, open, and go up, and go further up, down and back. That's 2. 3, open, ankle up, down and back. Knee, open, ankle up, down and back. 5, knee, open, ankle up, down and back. 6, open, ankle up, down and back. 7, open, ankle up, down and back. 8, open, ankle up, down and back. 9, open, ankle up, down and back. 10. Whew. That is hip bars on one side. Let's keep going. Do the other side. I need open, ankle up, down and back. 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 I forgot to start counting. I'm going to assume that was 6. 7. I need open, ankle up, down and back. I need open, ankle up, down and back. I need open, ankle up, down and back. Last one. I need open up, ankle up, down and back. Whew, that is 10 hip curls. Going forward on both legs. Let's go reverse. In reverse, we're hitting all the same positions, but it's a little bit different. So let's talk about it. We're going to start with bring leg back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Pull this leg behind you so you're feeling the stretch here in the front of the hip and the hip flexors. We're going to lift the leg to the side. Bring it back to that horizontal. If you want, you can add another leg. Do some martial arts looking fun stuff. And from here, we're going to rotate, 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 rotate. Bring that ankle up. Then do the opposite. Bring it all the way down and bring the knee forward. That's how we're going to wrap up our 1 rep going backwards. We're going to do 10 more of those. Let's go back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, pull this hip, lift, rotate, bring the ankle up, bring the ankle all the way down, and knee. That's 1. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down. 2. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down. 3. Back, side, ankle down, ankle 4, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 5, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 6, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 7, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 8, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 9, last one, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 10. Oh, those are hip curls in reverse. If your legs are tired, that is 100% normal. If you're just joining in, we're doing 45 to 60-ish minutes of live hip mobility and side split stretching, and we're doing the warm-up right now. Whew. Our goal is to practice a little bit of consistency every single day, so keep on coming back. Hip cars, going backwards. We're going, bring the leg back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Feel the stretch in the hip flexor up front. Lift the leg up to the side. Get that leg to horizontal. Then if you want to add a little flick for funsies, just this once though. You don't do this every time. Rotate your leg so that your ankle is as high as possible. Do the opposite. Rotate it all the way back. Bring your ankle down and knee high. And bring that knee forward. Have a little pinch right here. There we go. Boom. And we got 10 more of these to do. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 1. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 3. Woo. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 4. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 5. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 6. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 7. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 8. 2 more. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 9. Last one. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 10. Oh, those are some hip cars. We just finished 10 reps going forward, 10 reps going back, and now you get to take a little bit of a break. Alright, we're going to move on into the second stretch, second warm-up exercise. This is called the elephant walk. It's a little bit less intense. You don't have to move your hips through every range of motion. We're going to come and get into this L shape. If it looks like we're just trying to touch your toes, that is absolutely correct. Try to keep the back relatively straight here, and just chill. Come hang out, relax. Your hamstrings are tightening up, maybe your calves are tight, maybe your toes are starting to tense up as you try to grip the floor. Breathe, chill. Keep on trying to bring the belly button down towards the ground. And, oh, give me a second, I just noticed my microphone might not be connected on YouTube. And there we go, boom, okay. From that L-shaped position, we are chilling, hanging out, and just breathing, relax. The hip cars were intense. This is our inverse of that. We're just chilling for a little bit. Let the muscles chill out, relax. The hamstrings have a lot of work to do today, as they do every day, because we do this live every day. So give them a couple of seconds to get to it. Warming up, warming up, warming up, warming up, warming up. All right, we've hung out here for a little bit. Let's start adding a little bit of movement. We're gonna bend one knee. We're gonna straighten the other leg. We're going to keep on doing that while trying to bring our belly buttons down to the ground. So you're kind of shifting from leg to leg. You're gonna feel that hamstring shifting back and forth. And it's not gonna be super comfortable if this is your first time joining in. And it's okay. You might feel a little bit of tingliness in your calves. You might feel a little bit of tingliness in your toes. You might feel a really intense hamstring stretch. That's probably the main thing that you're feeling. And that is mostly normal. Okay, keep on going. Again, we're trying to bring the belly button down to the ground. We're trying to fold forward. And while we do that, we're moving our legs. We're moving the hamstrings. We're giving them a little extra movement to show them that we can
So don't worry about it so much, and just relax, chill out. I'm talking to my hamstrings. That's that's how I talk to myself. I talk to my muscles directly. The hamstrings are three different muscles in your leg. Together, they're called the hamstrings. One of them is a bicep, just like you have bicep in your arms. You also have biceps in your hamstrings. And what a bicep means is one end and the other is two ends. I guess technically you can think of it more like a Y or a V shape. And if you think about it as a V shape, then you got like four ropes of muscle running through your legs, trying to help you move. And hamstrings are big muscles. They tie in all sorts of different places in your leg. So when we do this move, they are rubbing against each other from different angles and shifting and doing things because they don't all move at the exact same rate. And some of that discomfort you're feeling might just be the muscles going, hey, what's this? We've never moved like this before. Whew. Okay, let's come on out of it. If you have been doing those elephant walks that whole entire time, you might need a couple of seconds to get back into standing. Maybe your toes are a little tired. Maybe your calves need a bit of a stretch and relaxing. Shake out your legs. Give yourself a little bit of a break. Come back into standing. It's possible that we were bent over so long, all the blood had pooled into your head, and now you gotta let it go to the other parts of your body. So give yourself a couple seconds. Breathe. Shake out the legs. Shake out everything. Get loose. And now we're going to get right back into that same position. We're going to do some thoracic rotation. Thoracic rotation is basically just fancy for we're going to rotate the spine. And once you get into that same position we were just in, folding the belly button down, we're going to bend one knee. We're going to reach our arm across the other side to push against the leg of the other side. So this leg, my right leg, is totally straight. My chest is rotating to the right. You don't have to do this explosively. I'm just exaggerating in my demonstration. Take it nice and slow and chill. Extend the right arm. Reach. Look at the hand so your neck is also rotating. And come on back down. Oof. Hope you're feeling it in the back, in the shoulder blades, in the shoulder. Switch to the side. Right leg is bent, left leg is straight. We're going to push against the straight leg to help open up the chest to the left. Extend the left arm. Look at the left hand and see how far back you're reaching. Remember to breathe. And back down. That is one rep. We're going to do 5 total. So we got 4 more to go. Open. And down. Open. And down. Because we're only doing 5, it should be possible, if you started, pretty cold and not warmed up, for you to reach a little bit further, probably each rep, and get to a pretty nice range of motion by the end. You don't have to push yourself, but I do want you to aim to get a tiny bit more each time, if you can. If you're feeling pain, discomfort, anything unusual, don't reach, don't push, maybe not even do the thoracic rotations. But if you are not feeling anything weird, reach. Whew. I think that's 5. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope your back is feeling a little bit more relaxed. Remember, we're trying to be gentle, take care of the body. This isn't about whoosh, explosive, torquey movements, not about jerky movements. It's about smoothly rotating. Maybe your shoulders, maybe your shoulder blades are a little bit tired from reaching back and really trying to reach for stuff. That's good. It's good. Get yourself a little bit of exercise. because we're not doing anything else for the back or the arms. That's it. We're going to move on to the third exercise now, and that is the Cossack switch. This is not the easiest of exercises, so I'm going to show you what it generally looks like, and I'm going to point out a couple of things for us to work on, okay? The main thing is that it looks like this. We're going to drop down to a squat on one side, and we're going to try and extend one leg out. And the switching part of the Cossack switch is we're going to scoot our butts over from side to side. Each time we do this, I want you to try and hang out here in this bottom squished low position, and I want your heels down, your toes up, and your knees pointing up on this leg. Here, on this side, I want you to try your best to keep your heels down. If you have to hang out in this position, your quads are going to be really tired, so try not to copy me before I finish explaining. Unless you're feeling like a badass and you know exactly what you got to do, and you can rip out your 10 reps, then you can take a break, go grab some coffee, hang out. From here, we're trying to get into a position that is comfortable to kind of almost chill in. We're trying not to have the quads fire super hard. We're trying to squish our hamstrings onto our calves. We're trying to just sit as compact as possible. It's still going to be hard, and it's going to be hard for a long time, especially if you don't have this amount of flexibility. So this is what we're working towards, all right? To help you with that, we're going to get into this little ball position. We're going to hug our knees to our chest. We're going to try and just squish and get comfortable in this small, tight, compact position, because that's what that bottom position is, all right? The more compact you can get right now, the easier it will be to chill in that deep, extended position. And while you do this and turn yourself into a little ball, I'm going to talk about some other things with form, all right? When you are here, you can stay here until I tell you otherwise. I want you to put your hands down and extend the leg that you are stretching out, which is whatever side you like. From here, again, your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. This is called leg external rotation, and we need to do this in order to get the thigh bone rotated out of the way so it does not smash into your hip bone when you're doing the Cossack switches. We need to do this for the side splits as well. So this position is really important, and it's fundamental to hip mobility and side splits. Cool? From here, I want you to make sure your heels are down on the ground. And I want you, if you can get low to the ground, great. If you're stuck a little bit higher, this is a perfect place to start. All right? We're going to try to get our butts over to the other side. And I want you to try your best to squish down as much as you can. And that is the whole thing. You can put your hands down the whole time to make it a little bit easier. You need less balance and less strength. You can keep the angle if you get used to it and just pull your hands away and work on more strength. You can stand up a little bit straighter, extend your arms to work on a lot of strength. Cool? All right, come on out of your tucked ball position. Let's get into and prepare for some Cossack switches. From the ball, you're extending one leg out. You're leaning forward onto your hands. Heels are down. Heels are down in the standing leg as well. We're trying to scoot our butts from side to side. This is number one. Number two. Again, you can keep your legs, your arms down the whole entire time to give yourself support. If you need to stay pretty high up because you don't have the flexibility to go down in your hips, that is also fine. It might help to lean really far forward. I'm leaned ultra far forward right now, as if my hands are being used to help me balance. If you're feeling really strong, you can stand up a little bit straighter. And as you come to each side, I want you to try your best to squish down a little bit, because this is the weakest part of all of your muscles, and we want to get a little bit stronger here. I think this is 6, but honestly, I probably miscounted already. 7, 8, again, it's too intense. You can always put your hands down. 9, and 10. Whew. Those are the Cossack switches. I hope that version of the explanation wasn't super confusing. because I've been experimenting and trying to figure out how to get these to go a little bit smoother. I'm not sure that that was the smoothest one, but the regulars can attest. We have probably seen like 6 different versions of this Cossack switch being explained over the last week. And yeah, let me know if there's one that you like better than the others. Okay, those are the Cossack switches. If that felt really intense, that is normal. It's a lot of work on your hip mobility in this position. When you're in this position, pretty much from your groin out to your leg, this is already a side split. So we're taking advantage of this exercising portion to warm up those side split muscles, to work on that deep hip compression. And you can use all of those pieces for all sorts of mobility work because you're getting stronger in these really crazy looking positions. That's it for the warm-ups. If you're sweating, if your heart rate is up, if your blood is pumping, then you're doing a good job. Go ahead, take a break, grab a sip of water, and also grab a cushion. We are going to move on into 5 stretches. And the first one is a hamstring stretch, where we're going to drop down to one knee. We're going to fold towards the hamstrings, and having a little bit of cushion is better than none at all. While you go grab something to pad your knees, I'm going to check the chat real quick. Keith White from YouTube says, hi from the USA. Welcome, Keith. Che has sent, go popular, ×3. Thank you. All right, give me a sec. I'm going to scroll to the top of the chat. If you are just joining in with one of the 140 people on the live right now, we do 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community. I try to bring good vibes to the internet. I hope you bring good vibes to the chat. And our goal is to make sure that we have fun, suffer a little bit less, enjoy each other's company while we train and suffer on the floor. We're doing hip mobility work. None of this is particularly comfortable or easy. Or working on side splits. Those are just generally not comfortable at all. And we're hoping they become comfortable over time because we're building flexibility, building mobility, and trying to get better movement. So if that sounds cool, if that sounds like something you want to do, you want to practice every day, hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back because we are here at 9 p.m. Eastern every single day. I meant to drink water this whole time, but I got my first sip just now. All right, let's get into some stretches. The first stretch that we're going to do is a hamstring stretch. And to set it up, if this is your first time on the live, you can just pop down on both knees, point your hips forward, point your shoulders forward. If you have not grabbed anything to cushion your knees, couch cushions, old towels that need to be washed, you can just roll up. Yoga mats can be folded. Shoes that you don't care about, you can just stick your knee into that foam and hope for the best. From here, we are pointing our hips, shoulders ahead. We're extending our leg in front as well. We're taking this belly button. We are folding it down towards the thighs. I want you to imagine that you're touching your belly button to your thighs. From here, this is the hamstring stretch. Boom. I'm going to rotate around so you can see some other angles. You don't have to move because I can't see you. And it's going to look a little bit like this. I want you to not get into something that looks like a front split. So pull your leg in towards your body. This will make it easier to focus on the hamstring stretch, I promise. And fold. Once you're in this basic position, I want you to really focus on bringing your chest and belly button down. And we're going to do that with some breathing. I want you to take a big inhale. Slowly exhale and fold your belly button down. Exhale. Oh man. When it starts getting really intense, take some normal breaths, relax a little bit, and we're going to do another inhale, exhale. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Remember, we're trying to bring the belly button to the thighs. Your hamstrings, your calves, your toes, probably everything is feeling the tension right now. And that is normal. Let's go, 30 seconds. Hold this, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, come on out of that stretch. Oof. Breathe. Try to relax. Smile. Be happy. We stretched. That was good work. Okay, come on. Switch over to the other side. We are dropping down the other knee, extending the other leg in front. If you are having a little bit of trouble with balance, you can widen your stance just a little bit. Try not to go too crazy. If your leg is all the way out here, that is no longer a hamstring. I mean, it's kind of still is a hamstring stretch, but you're doing a whole bunch of other stuff, all right? Bring that leg directly in front of you. Pull it back into your body and bring the belly button down. You might notice one leg is way more flexible than the other for me. My left leg has an old hamstring injury that I have noticed is making it very difficult to make progress in this stretch. I've made a ton of progress in the other leg, but this leg, it struggles on the struggle bus. So if you're feeling the same way about your own legs, I think that's normal. Cool? Okay. Hope you're in position for some inhale, exhales. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Take some more breaths. One more inhale, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Fold. Once you are as low as you can get for now, try to straighten out that back a little bit. Remember, all we care about is the belly button coming down. We don't care about the chest. We don't care about the head, just the belly button. So don't put extra pressure into your chest or into your back. 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Those are hamstring stretches. This cushion that we've been kneeling on this whole time, you don't need it anymore. That's all we're doing on the floor with our knees. Come on back up into standing and breathe, relax, chill. That was our first stretch. We have 5 in total. The second one is the butterfly stretch, or often called the tailor's pose, depending on which side of the pond you are in or at. Yeah, at where you are on which side of the pond. Okay, I'm gonna get to a wall. I recommend you get to a wall as well. Bring your hips, your shoulder, your head up against the wall. Experience some half decent posture for the first time in a while. Bring your feet together, pull it in, and we're gonna get into this position. The reason why I'm in this corner is because I want to lean against something really stable. You might already feel some pressure in the mid-back when you get into this position. This is the wall keeping you from rounding and falling backwards, all right? When you're in this position, typically there's a lot of different flexibility things going on, and one of them wants you to fall backwards when you have tight hamstrings. So we use the wall to make sure that we can stay in this relatively good posture and focus on the main stretch. The main stretch is here in the groin. The way to stretch this is actually to just bring your knees down to the ground. And every time we stretch, I want you to get a little bit stronger. So for this, I want you to contract your outer thigh muscles. I want you to contract your glutes. And I want you to pull your legs down into the ground. I'm going to have to move later because I don't have enough room right here in this corner. But we can demonstrate all of it right here. From here, once you've really contracted those muscles, and if it's your first time doing this and you have no idea which muscles you're trying to use, that's absolutely a-okay. Don't worry about it. You'll figure it out as we go. Take your hands, apply some pressure into the inner thighs. As you do this, you'll start feeling pressure in the back of your head, pressure in the tops of your shoulders, because you're pushing yourself into the wall. The wall's not going anywhere, so you're pushing your legs down as well. And that is why we like the wall. All right, that's the whole stretch. Try to bring your knees as close to the ground or onto the ground if you can. And let's go. We're holding this for 30 seconds. Open, push, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Let your legs go. Remove your hands first, and your hips might feel a little stiff, like they don't want to move. If you can't lift your legs very well right now using your own muscles, you can take your hands, give them a little push, give them a little pull, and after a little bit of movement, they should wake up and start being normal again. Come on out of that position. Shake out your legs, shake out your hips, do a little dance, and when you can, let's get into stretch number 3. Stretch number 3 is the standing pancake, and it looks a little bit like this. We're open up the legs. Doesn't have to be crazy wide. You definitely do not want to have discomfort in the hips. So if you're deep in some crazy leg position and you're starting to hurt a little bit here, bring your legs in. Cool? From here, it's all about the belly button. Once again, we are folding and bring that belly button down, pointing towards the ground. And from here, if it looks like we're just trying to touch our toes again, that is exactly right. This is the starting position for the standing pancake. The goal of the standing pancake is actually to fold, 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 and get as deep. Have your head in between your legs so you can just lay out flat. It is crazy. It requires an insane amount of mobility, and it's hard. That's why we do the standing variation, because when we're standing and when we're folded like this, gravity is pulling our heads, our chest, our upper body down into the ground and giving us a whole bunch of help. We need that help. For most people. If you're already super flexible, then you can do whatever version that you want. But for the rest of us, mere mortals, the standing pancake is going to give you the most help to pull your chest down and have your body get into something that looks like this, forward folding. When you are in this type of position, you could be a little bit higher up if you don't have the flexibility. It should be easier to open up the legs and get deeper. This is optional. You can decide what you want to do depending on how flexible you feel. If you want, you can take a really wide, deep stance. Your inner thigh muscles are going to fire, and they're going to be really tired trying to hold you up. But if you want to feel like a total badass, this is the way to go. Eventually, you'll have to get here. The goal here, again, is to fold forward and bring your belly button down to the ground. If you want to make this harder, you can extend your arms above your head. You can hold something really light, like a pound, a yoga block, a water bottle in front of you, and it'll feel like 10 pounds, maybe 15 pounds, just because of leverage. That's it. That's all we're doing. If you feel like your face is going to smash into the ground because you can't figure out how to balance, stick your butt a little bit further back behind you, and that should help counterbalance your arms in front. All right? That's it. Let's go. We're going to hold this for 30 seconds. Get as deep as you can, as comfortably as you want. 30, 29, 28, 27. Again, this is all about the belly button. We're bringing it down as close to the ground as possible. 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, put your hands down. Come on out of that stretch. If it was really intense, that is because it is hard to do a standing pancake. Try to toe heel in if you are struggling to get out of this position. Toe heel means just bring your toes in and then switch. Bring your heels in, bring your toes in, bring your heels in. If you are struggling to stand up straight, that's also kind of normal. All those muscles were firing really hard for the whole 30 seconds, trying to keep you stable, and now you're trying to move. They're going, wait, what? We're moving now? That's crazy. What are you doing? Why are you moving now? The standing pancake is really intense for 2 reasons. One, especially if you try to open up your legs and get into a wide position when we were folded forward, the adductors, your inner thigh muscles, were hanging out at the position where they tend to be a lot weaker, and then you're forcing them to contract and hold up your entire body weight while you do crazy things at crazy angles. All right, so that is why your adductors are probably fried right now. The other place where you're putting a lot of work in is at the hamstrings and potentially the low back. When we fold forward, anytime we fold forward, and this is what I'm talking about when I say bring the belly button down. The belly button is right at the top of your hips, right? The top of the hip bone is probably right here. My belly button is right here. So when I talk about bringing the belly button down, I'm just giving you something easy to imagine moving, all right? And the way your hamstrings work are they connect basically in the back of your knee, just below the knee on one side. And on the other side, they connect into your pelvis. So when you're straightened up, your pelvis, the bottom of your pelvis is maybe like right here, right? Where it's connected to the hamstring. And then your hamstring muscles connect just below the knee right here. So we got this distance. When you start folding forward, those muscles, instead of the bottom of the hip being over here, they're going out way over here, and they're also possibly getting higher. So that is the stretch that you are feeling. It is going from here to here. That is why your hamstrings are dying inside. It doesn't matter if your legs are together and you're folding forward, or if your legs are apart and you're folding forward, your hamstrings are crying, and that is why, because the bottom of your hips are scooting up and away from the backs of your knees. Whew, I hope that makes sense, and I hope that was a long enough rest so that we can move on to the next stretch. The next stretch that we're going to do is called the figure 4 or the pigeon. And in the pigeon, we're basically doing something that looks like this. We're bringing the ankle up to the other side of our body, and we're bringing our chest and our belly button mostly down to that leg. From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. We're going to feel the stretch here in the side of the butt, in the side of the hips. And if you know what a pigeon looks like, you'll know that I should be able to drop right down into a pigeon stretch and hold basically that same form. I think, I can't remember what we did in the last show, but since I was already in pigeon, I'm going to do some pigeon. To do the pigeon, if you're brand new to fitness in general, this explanation is going to be more useful to you. If you've done this before, you can just get into the pigeon, or you can take a quick break, drink some water, check out the chat, hang out for a sec. We're going to catch everybody else up. The pigeon, again, is about bringing the leg across to the center of your body. We're trying to get the center of our chest down towards that leg. And as we fold forward, we want to feel the stretch here in the side of the glutes. So try your best to keep your hips low and then fold forward. This back leg often comes up, especially if you've done some yoga. A pigeon, slightly more advanced pigeon, has the leg going straight back behind you. This is cool because it stretches out the hip flexor muscles. But it's extra cool when you actually spend a lot of time in this upright position because you're actually getting the stretch here in the hip. For us, most of the stretching that we're doing is going to be down here, stretching out the side of the glute. And since you're going to be folded forward for the most part, you're not going to get that much stretch in the hip anyway. So I would, in general, say you can totally just keep your knee bent and keep going with that stretch. If you're really adamant about wanting to work on that hip extension, having the leg behind you, then you can do either of, actually, I'm just going to say one thing. You can do one thing. You can elevate your front leg, all right? What that means is if you put a yoga block under this leg, your hips are going to get elevated, and that means this hip will be high. I'm going to just do that with a yoga block instead of with my arms. And boom. You don't have to do it with anything fancy. You can grab a really low stool. You can grab a couple of books. As long as you can elevate your front leg just a little bit or open up space down here, and your back leg will be able to hang out a little bit more easily. All right, that's all we got for instruction. Let's get into some pigeon and let's crank these out because we got some side splits to do. Bring the leg across the body, keeping the hips low, folding forward. If you want, extend the leg back behind you and feel that stretch here in the outside of the hip, outside of the glute. Breathe. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. Feel free to close your eyes and just chill while you're feeling gravity doing all the work. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. If it suddenly feels like it got really easy, push your feet towards your face. That will make the stretch more difficult. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's one side. We got one more side to do. Spin it around. Let's go. We're crossing the leg across the body. Trying to aim the midpoint of our chest to kind of the midpoint of our leg. If you got extra long legs, then this might not make that much sense. You're going to have to experiment. From here, we're trying to keep our hips low and we're trying to fold our chest down. You might notice different legs have different amount of flexibility, and that is normal and okay. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. Again, we are really trying to feel that stretch here in the outside of the hip. 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, keep on breathing, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Come on up out of that stretch. The pigeon is one of those stretches where every time I do them, I go, I should do them more. But every time I do them, I also look at the state of my floor and I go, man, I should also sweep more. And if I get into the idea that I should sweep more, I'll be like, oh no, but I should just vacuum. And then I go, but it's like really loud. I don't want to disturb the neighbors right now. So maybe I'll vacuum later. And then the pigeon never happens. So don't let that be you. If you like the pigeon, if you felt like that stretch was very enjoyable, just ignore the floor, stick your face to it, and get some pigeon stretch done. All right, let's move on. We just did 4 of our 5 stretches, and it's time for some side splits. If you were just joining in, you have no idea what I'm talking about. We do 45 to 60-ish minutes of live side splits and hip mobility stretching every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. We do this every day to practice consistency, the most important quality. We do this every day to build a little bit of community. My goal is that I bring good energy into the internet, and I hope you bring good energy into the chat so that we can support each other. We can make struggling on the floor, stretching every day, a little bit more fun, a little bit more bearable, and hopefully that combination will make it so that we can make a whole bunch of progress in our hip mobility, in our side splits together. Okay, if that sounds cool, hit follow, hit subscribe, do all those cool things, keep coming back, and let's get into some side splits. The first thing I want you to do is actually not the side splits. The first thing I want to talk about is safety. I recommend you stand in front of something very stable, very sturdy while we do this. And that is because there is a small chance that when you're in a new position you haven't really figured out yet, you're trying to adjust, like, oh, what's going on? Where you might lose some balance. You go, oh, snap, I'm falling backwards. I'm falling. You're just trying to swim through space and then you start falling. If you're lucky and you have something nice and soft behind you, great, no big deal. But if you are unlucky, your butt is going to smash into the floor and it is really going to hurt. That is not what we want. We don't want you to get hurt, because when your butt slams into the ground, it'll be like a whole shock that goes through your whole back. You'll suddenly like be breathless and all sorts of fun stuff that will just not make stretching any fun. So don't do that. I have a table behind me, and the way the camera is set up, this is the only thing I can lean back against. But I usually recommend you use a wall. The wall is there, won't cause you any problems. There's no sharp pointy corners for the most part. Avoid light switches. And if you stand 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall and you get into a deep position, you might be able to just scoot your butt back and land into that fallen position. You might be able to rotate, smash your shoulder into that position. It'll be a little bit shocking, but it'll hurt way less than your butt slamming into the ground. So that is our little safety spiel. Grab something behind you to fall back against, and if you did all the stretches using the wall before, then you know exactly where you can go. Cool. Let's continue with some side splits. Open up the legs as wide as you can without pain, with no pain. All right, if you're already uncomfortable, bring your legs in a little bit. We can fix that stuff later. Fold forward with your belly button. Bring it down towards the ground. From here, you can try to get a little bit wider if you'd like. Put your hands down, and we're going to try and do a little bit of a push-up. We're not trying to build arm strength necessarily. We're trying to get some weight into our arms so that it's easier on the legs. We're going to rotate the legs so that the heels are down, the toes are up, and the knees are pointing up. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. This is called leg external rotation, rotating to the outside of your body. And we need to do this in order to get the thigh bones to not smash into the hip bones. And it's necessary for us to do if we want to sit up a little bit straighter and for me to actually look at the camera. From here, we're going to walk our hands back towards our hips to try and put that weight that we shifted into our hands earlier back into our legs. From here, this is totally optional. I'm going to do a little wiggle from side to see if I can break the friction holding my feet back and get just a little bit deeper. From here, we're ready. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Ooh, lost balance. Almost fell backwards. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, that's it. Walk your hands forward. Take some more weight off of your legs and see if you can slowly bring in one leg at a time. Whew. Try not to put a whole bunch of pressure on your knee while you drag your leg in. Your knee doesn't need that much pain. Or, I mean, it's not pain. Your knee doesn't need that kind of pressure. Once you are in this kneeling position, take a couple of breaths, relax, chill. Your hips might be feeling a little bit tense. You can give them a light massage, give it a little bit of movement. And when you're ready, we're gonna try to undo all of that tension by shaking out our muscles. Let's come into standing. We'll talk about shaking it out. Ooh, stand. To shake it out, and if you've never done this before, you can start like this. Imagine you're getting out of a body of water and you're trying to shake the water off of your feet, shake the water off your hands, maybe shaking it into the eyes of your enemies. Flicking, perhaps, is the right term. While we do this, as you get more comfortable with the idea of flicking, I want you to relax the ankle, I want you to relax the calves, and I want you to just shake out the leg. We only need to do 5-10 seconds on each side, and that will be plenty to help your muscles relax. But you can add on a bit more than just that forward flick. You can add a little bit of rotation. That looks like this. If you plant your big toe down, put all your weight in the other leg, you should be able to rotate at the hip and have the knee go in and out and in and out and in and out. Doing this helps loosen up these muscles in the hips that we were just complaining about and massaging on the ground earlier. And you can also take that up to another level of intensity, basically, and have that help shake out your quads, shake out those thighs. We're gonna do the same on the other side. All the weight is in my right leg, planting the big toe just to give a little bit of rotation here at the hip. And if you figure out these muscles and you use them to do the same thing without your toe planted, now your leg is starting to get all floppy. All right? Whew. I was pointing my toe too hard. I got a cramp in my foot. Maybe I need to have some bananas. Short on potassium. Okay, that is a little bit of shaking, relaxing, and trying to get the tension out of our hips, out of our legs, so that we can get into round 2. I don't know if I've told you this on this particular live, but we do 3 rounds of side split stretching, and we just finished the first round. We're relaxing and trying to loosen up before the second round, and then we're going to do the same after that. We're going to relax and loosen, and we're going to get the last side splits. All right, we're going to do it. Let's go. Round 2. Stand 8 to 12 inches in front of whatever you are prepared to fall back on. Make sure it's sturdy, make sure it's stable, and let's get into some side splits. Open up the legs. Stay comfortable. There should be no pain. If there is pain, bring your legs in just a little bit. Fold forward, bring your belly button down, facing the ground, and from here, you can choose to get into a deeper split position if you'd like. From here, we're going to place our hands down on the ground. We're going to do a mini push-up just to make sure there's weight in our arms and there's less weight in our legs so that we can externally rotate the legs, which means the heels are down, the toes are up, and the knees are up. This is the most important position in this whole entire show, in this whole entire workout, because you need this position in order to comfortably get into a side split looking position. Otherwise, your hips will hurt. From here, we're walking the hands back. We're trying to put that weight that we shifted forward back into our legs. And we're going to do a little wiggle from side to side to see if we can break the friction, holding our feet back. And with that, it's time. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. If you have been holding yourself up with straight arms this whole time, try giving your elbows a little bend and see how much more weight suddenly drops into your legs. 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Remember to breathe. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, walk your hands forward. Come on out of that position. Bring your knees in. Whew. And once again, your legs are probably tired. Your hips are probably tired. If you need to, give them a light massage. Or, it doesn't have to be light. You can Work those hips. Okay, come back into standing. We're gonna shake it out one more time. This time, try our best to get loose. Shaky, shaky, shaky. Shake, 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 shake. Flick, 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 flick. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Again, as you get more comfortable with the movements, we want to make sure our bodies are loose. The reason why we care about looseness is because we don't want any extra tension in the leg keeping us from getting into a deeper position. If we're flexed, if we're tense, if we're contracted into a little ball, even if it's just a little bit, that is unnecessary tension that will not help us in our side splits. All right. So we're just trying to shake out that tension wherever it starts. And you can use this in your other exercises. If you work out, you're doing some bicep curls, you might know that if you do a bunch of reps, a bunch of sets, at some point, your elbow won't even go straight anymore. You'll just be like this. Maybe this is a little bit of an exaggeration, maybe like that. And your bicep is so tense, you can't straighten out your arm. This shaking and getting loose is exactly what we're fighting against, or is exactly fighting against that, where you have created so much tension, your muscles can't relax anymore to their fullest relaxed position. And we're trying to get back to that position every single time we do a side split. Is it necessary to do it for as long as we have done it already? No, but I'm spending some time making sure we all know how to move and relax and take care of these hips. Cool? That is our that is our second side split and our second hip loosening movement shenanigans. Let's get into the third side split and finish this workout. 8 to 12 inches in front of whatever you're going to fall against, whether it's a wall or a table. Just make sure it's sturdy. Open up the legs, fold forward, bring that belly button down, put your hands down. See if you can get into a deeper position now. And from here, we're going to externally rotate the legs. Experiment. See if maybe you don't need to actually do that push-up and really put your arms in front of you to rotate your legs. I talk about it in the first 2 rounds to make sure that it's as easy as possible for a beginner. But if you realize you don't need it anymore, then you're good to move on. From here, we are going to walk our hands back towards our hips, put that weight into our hips again, and do a little wiggle from side to side. Break the friction, holding our feet back. When you're as deep as you can go, breathe. It's time for our final 30 seconds. Let's do it. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Walk your hands forward. Bring your legs in. Try not to put too much weight onto your knees when you do that. When you're pulling the legs in, not when you're resting. When you're resting, I think all of your weight is probably going to be on your knees. From here, take a quick second to catch your breath. Relax those muscles passively. Then we're going to get up and we're going to actively relax those muscles by shaking it out. Come back into standing. Shake, 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 shake. Flop, 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 flop. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. I think we talked about it that first round. If you want to help loosen these up without actively going and doing something like this, you can take those same muscles that you're using here and just do a version of it without your toe on the ground. And you can do a very gentle, a very light version of it as part of the shake. Cool? Other leg. Flick, 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 shake, 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 wiggle, 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 flop, flop, flop. We want to be floppy noodles. All right? Floppy, 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 floppy. Again, if you place your toe down and you do a little bit of this, all the movement is coming from the hips. You loosen up these muscles in your hips, just giving a little bit of gentle movement. We're not working on extreme maximum range of motion in either direction. We're just letting those muscles that we're contracting get a little bit of extra movement to loosen up. And as you get more skilled with controlling those muscles, you can shake out your leg a little bit like this. All right? And you'll know it's working when your quads just start flopping and shaking everywhere. Whew. Those are our tension shaking outy things that we do, shaking and flopping and wiggling. Let's do a couple of quick joint checks just to check that all of the main movement patterns in our bodies are working after all of the stress that we put them through, and then we'll be all wrapped up. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is a hip circle. I have a lot of tension and sensitivity here at the sides of the hips after side splits. So I like to spend a couple of extra seconds here on each side. And I like to sort of grind that position right here. I don't know what it is, but after a couple of seconds, they get looser and feel much better. And if you got something similar, take the time, work it out. We're gonna do some high knees after that. You don't have to do very many, just to make sure that lifting your knee isn't causing you any discomfort. We're going to fold forward at the hips, which is basically just an extension of that high knee position, except you're folded forward this time. We're going to put that knee in front, and that's going to automatically put pressure in the knees, but it's also going to put some pressure in the ankles. When you've gotten into this position or similar, I want you to try to do a little bit of a calf raise. Now we'll be working pretty much all of the lower body muscles together, trying to keep them coordinated. And if you can do a couple of these, you're probably good. Come back out from that squat position. And if nothing feels weird, everything feels more or less normal, then you are ready to go and do other stuff today. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. We just did, how long was the show? 61 minutes. We just did an hour of live hip mobility and side splits stretching. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed the workout. I hope you enjoyed the good vibes I try to put out into the internet. And I hope you feel like you're moving a little bit better. You're moving a little bit smoother. Your hips are more flexible, at least temporarily. And I hope you realize that you're capable of so much more, especially when you're warmed up. That's it for the live. I'm gonna come back over, do the chat, and check out what's been going on while I have been way back over there talking. And yeah, I hope you had fun. I hope you're feeling good. Let's see, we got a bunch of thank yous. XOXO says, thank you for this. You're very welcome. P. Utah says, doing this again tomorrow. Glad I found you today. Yes, absolutely. In case you guys don't know, I do this live every single day for 45 to 60 minutes. Realistically, it's a little bit longer and it goes to 60 minutes pretty consistently. I'm working my way down. I'm trying. And the goal is to practice consistency. That's the most important quality. You can have the best plan ever, but if you can't follow through on it, it's not going to help you very much, right? So we're here trying to make the fitness, the exercise a little bit more simple. You just follow along, try to keep it live and engaging so it's not as boring as watching a regular YouTube video over and over and over again. And yeah, that's how we try to practice consistency. I'm here every day, and I hope you can be here as often as you want to be here. Des says, I'm new here. I came in late, but thank you. Great motivation. Amazing. Thank you for coming in late and then practicing anyway. I do try to make sure that when we explain things, there's enough information to get everybody started. And it's intended for that exact reason. I want you to find the live, just come in, join, and hang out. And feel good enough after you've done the workout that you're like, oh, this is a cool place. And this is how I'm going to start picking up a little bit more of my fitness journey, maybe, or work on hip mobility, work on side splits if you want to take that to an extreme level. And thank you for being here, Des. Where was I? We do this every day to build a little bit of community, because suffering on the floor, doing these things all the time is not exactly the most fun, and it's not easy, right? So to make it a little bit more enjoyable, to make it a little bit more bearable, I try my best to have you guys cheer each other on, support each other, and hopefully that combination of good vibes, consistency, a little bit of community makes it a lot easier for us to do these types of hip workouts and side split related stretches. And hopefully we all make a whole bunch of progress in our side splits together. When I say side splits, I mean like hip mobility, movement, flexy stuff. Cool. Cool. All right. We do this every day at 9 p.m. Eastern, which is about an hour ago. So come on in, hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back. We are training and staying consistent. Whew. Okay. Ugh. Coming over to the chat. Let's see what we got. What we got. Over on YouTube, we have nothing new, just Keith White from the US. Welcome. Traveler actually says this was great. Sorry, I'm going to move the camera down so I don't have to crank my neck to look up. And I'm actively currently looking for questions or things to address so that Gayata says you're making excuses, Ken. Clean that floor. Oh, man. I vacuum at least like 2-3 times a week, but I shed so much hair onto the floor that every time I look down, I'm like, oh, man, I got to vacuum again. Oh, hold on. TikTok is thinking that I'm a bot and wants me to solve a puzzle. Boom, puzzle solved. First try. And Katarina says, or at least clean one square where your face is going to be. That's a really good idea. I should choreograph this so that my face ends up in the same spot every single time, and that would be like a very unburdensome, emotionally unburdensome version of cleaning the floor. Just clean the one square where I will be staring at the floor. But I feel like I spin around doing the pigeon, like going this hip and then this hip, and I don't know. I don't think because I do that spinning, it's gonna work. It can't be one square. It has to be like 15 squares. Don't worry, I clean the floor. All right, you don't have to judge me so hard. I'm just telling funny, relatable stories. Okay, Yolanda says, "Nice work." Saucy Dog asks, "How do you not slip?" I think every floor is going to be a little bit different. If you have freshly polished wood floors and you're wearing socks, it's going to be really hard not to slip. For whatever reason, this tile has a bit of texture to it. It's not necessarily sandpapery, but when it's dry, it's kind of grippy, and that is helping me not to slip. I have done some version of this live workout in an old apartment with wood floors, and it was much harder not to slip. So in those situations, what I recommend is for you to anchor one leg, right? If we're doing a side split, for example, if you anchor one leg, only the other leg is able to slide out. And just having one leg anchored makes you feel like you're in a lot more control, and it'll feel a lot more comfortable. Other things you can do to feel a little bit more grippy is getting something with some grip, like a yoga mat. What else can we do? What other stretches do we not need to slip in? I think the majority of them that we care about is the standing pancake and the side splits. If you have your foot to one side, that will do a lot. The other thing that you can do for both those stretches is to take a chair or grab a stool and sort of have it in front of you so that you can have kind of a center point to focus your weight into. And then even if your legs are struggling to slip out a little bit, you can kind of hold yourself in place with something else. If you're low enough to the ground, it can just be your hands, right? If you're not that low, you can grab a stack of books, preferably big old textbooks. But textbooks can also slide around on top of each other, so it might not be perfect. A small stool might be better, or some yoga blocks. Okay, crawling back. What else we got? Bada-bada-boom. We have a whole bunch of people following live. Thank you. And we have a whole bunch of gifts. 6 treasures since roses. Thank you. Landlady says, my kid is doing better at this than me. That tends to be the case, unless your kid is like 40, and like, no, I think typically the younger you are, the easier it is to get into some of these positions. When you're very young, you actually have a lot more elasticity in the muscle fibers themselves. So as you age, you lose some of that elasticity, and it becomes more like scar tissue. And so it's not as stretchy. So when kids stretch, it tends to be a combination of their muscles are more stretchy, and they're also building the flexibility that they need, which is basically the length the muscles relaxing enough so that they're not contracting. Typically, like we just demonstrated actually, when you're in a Cossack switch position, like so, this is actually a side split position right here, right? From the middle of your body out to that leg. You might be able to get into it on one side, but as soon as you try to combine it into two, you might not be able to get as low to the ground. So there's a bunch of different things. The main one is your brain is designed to not let you do crazy things. So if it thinks you're in a position that is not safe, it's going to contract a whole bunch of muscles to keep you from getting into an even worse position. And frequently this is called the stretch reflex. So the stretch reflex's purpose is to not let you do crazy things. What your brain thinks is crazy subconsciously is not what you think is crazy, right? We've watched enough Instagram and YouTube reels to know, oh no, we can do side splits. It's possible. It's a thing. But your brain doesn't know that. It's going, based on my experience, you've never done anything like this. So don't do that. And it contracts the muscles to keep you from getting into a deeper position. So that contraction is your muscles squeezing and pulling together, right? And that keeps you from getting deeper. What we want to do is relax the muscles so they can get a little bit longer. What a muscle contraction is there's a whole bunch of fibers in your muscles, and they kind of look like lots and lots of straws going in and out of each other. And when you contract the muscle, the straws kind of like pull in and bunch up. But when you relax, the straws kind of like fully extend and get loose, right? When we're stretching, the goal is to do a combination of things. Maybe lengthen the muscles a little bit, but also to relax the muscles so that they can stay in their longest position and not just go, no, you're not allowed. We're going to contract and fight against you. So as an adult, you tend to have less of the elasticity in your muscle fibers themselves. So as an adult, you tend to have to work on training your muscles to relax and getting them to lengthen instead through contraction and relaxation. That relaxation is what we're doing when we do that shaky stuff, the shaky, floppy, wiggly stuff. It's to get your muscles to get into a position where they're not tense. They're just flopping around. They're just hanging out so that you can try to get as much length in the stretch position in the side split, in our example, as possible. But yes, kids will generally perform the stretches better. They got some advantages. What else we got? Bina 2020 says, I like it. I just let you do the workout. I just keep watching you. Okay. I would love it if you joined in on the workout and hung out while doing the workout too. But I understand. Cool. All right, scrolling. LOA says, me eating ice cream watching this. I get it. I do the same thing. When I first, actually, I've been wanting to do side splits for like a decade. And every year I'd start, January, it'd be time to start over. And I'd watch like a couple hours of YouTube videos, most of them being the same video that I've watched, last year and the year before and the year before that, because there are a couple of, fitness influencers that I follow. And I get it. It's fun to watch people do crazy things. Scrolling down. Okay. Congrats on 5K. Did we get 5K subscribers or followers? Sick. Thank you for checking. I wouldn't have known until afterwards. Woo! Okay. Contained. Gayeta says, good job, everyone. Lovely. All right. I'm almost down to the bottom. Travel Darcy says, oh my God, I just saw. Okay. Yes, 5K. Woo! Okay. Witness My Fitness says, you think you're going to unlock it this year, your side split? I would really like to. I think I'm getting pretty close. I'm already cooled off a little bit, so this won't be my maximum depth, I'm sure. But it'd be awesome if I were able to unlock it right here, because the walls are just barely too wide for this position. If I go all the way and plant my feet, I think I might be able to hit it. Anyways, so I am... I don't know, I'm down to the last 7, 8 inches off the ground. We'll say 8 in the side split. And I would love to get that last 8 this year. That would be really nice. That'd be really nice. I've been working on these very consistently, doing this live show or some version of it. It started a lot easier than this current version. It was shorter originally. I started last November. So it's been about a year and 2 months, so about 400-ish days. Again, the version that we started with was a lot easier than this current version and a lot shorter than this version. So this longer version of the show has probably been going for 4 or 5 months, 6 months maybe. And I've made a ton of progress. Just these last couple inches are a little bit hard. I did a pretty intense sprint back in November of this year, or I guess November of last year. That's a lot of Novembers. I started this in November of 2024. And then in November 2025, hitting the 365 day like anniversary, I tried to do like a really intense series. And for a while, I made a lot of progress, like a centimeter every 2 days. And then my hips started getting a little bit uncomfortable. They started to ache. And because we do the live every day, I was like, okay, I need to dial back. I can't keep this intensity up because it's starting to impact my ability to perform in other ways. So since then, I haven't done like super intense side split stuff, trying to get really deep into the side split again. Pretty much all of the side split stretching I do is here on the live. And yeah, the live has done a ton for my side splits. If you're curious what that means, you can go find the Instagram account. It's also called Splits on the Side. If you scroll all the way down, you'll get to the first couple of sad looking videos because I didn't know how to talk to a camera yet. And you'll be able to see like how high I was off the ground back then. The progress hasn't been particularly fast, but this is the most consistent I've ever been about side splits, about pretty much anything that's not like mandatory to do, like going to class or something. And I think that's the thing I'm proudest, that the focus has been consistency. It's helping other people to practice consistency, and it's being able to show up so that we are consistent. I think over the last 3 or 4 months, I might have missed 1 or 2 lives at the standard live time. And it might be like 1 or 2 more than that. But I've done one at the airport in between transit. I've done one outside because there was fire alarm testing. And the consistency factor for me, right? Because I'm doing it also for myself. It's not just for you guys. I'm still working on my side splits. Has been super cool because whenever I started doing the side splits in the past, twice a year, basically January, and then like midway through, I'd be like, oh, I should really work on the side splits so I can get them by the end of the year. The programming would be way more intense, and it'd be more PNF style, which is a more advanced stretching style, and it would struggle and it would hurt a little bit more because you have to like tense your muscles when you're in a deeply stretched position, and that's hard. I would frequently just quit after like 2 weeks. The first time I get like really sore, and then I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, and then I'd start dropping off immediately after. That is pretty typical of my splits journey up until this past year. And so getting to the point where I just show up and it's just part of my day and is how I spend this hour and a half every single day has been really cool because it helps me to prioritize and it helps to make the whole thing a little bit more fun, right? Like selfishly, this live exists because I wanted to make sure that I was staying consistent, that I was documenting that I was staying consistent. And by doing it live, by forcing it to be a live thing, I show up or I don't, right? Like there's a date on when the live happened. There's a time on how long the live ran, and I don't have to write down anything. I don't have to think about it. I'm not going out of my way to track those stats anymore to make sure that I'm staying consistent because I am just consistent about this thing now after however long I've been doing it. And What else about the live? The live is cool because eventually, as people started coming in and getting to be part of the show, it's been cool because when other people are here, I feel more motivated to put in a lot of energy to really try and hit that like final little bit of range of motion to not, take it chill. If nobody's here, I maybe take it a little bit more chill, be like, it's okay, it's not a big deal, nobody's here anyway. But because there are people here, it's easier for me to go, boom, we're gonna rep this out. It's easier for me to take it with good energy, for me to focus, and that is why the live is super important to me. I hope that the good positive energy I try to put out because I want to help other people do the same thing, right? Like consistency is hard. I know I've been struggling with it for forever. And now that I have sort of figured out my little weird, crazy online way of doing the thing consistently, if I can welcome you into this world where I make it easier on you, you don't have to think too much. You just kind of follow along. You don't even have to count. I'll do the counting for you. We keep it entertaining. We try to keep it fun. You have somebody to interact with. Other people are literally doing the workout with you. Helps to make consistency that much easier. And hopefully, you find some value in that because that's what we're doing. Hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back. We do this at 9 p.m. every single day. All right, let's see. I'm going to scroll down the chat after just rambling back and forth over and over again about consistency. Witness my fitness. Travel Darcy says he has made so much progress last year that I think so. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the vote of confidence. I appreciate it. Joy Nonye says, I used to be super flexible when I was much younger. Do I have an advantage or have I lost it? I think in general, if you had flexibility, it's way easier to regain it. And it's the same with muscles. If you used to be really strong, it's much easier to rebuild the muscle than it is to build it for the first time. Anytime you're trying to create change is going to be really challenging. But by the time that you have already created that change, something magic about the body will have happened, and it'll recognize that there was a identity, a version of you that had that type of muscle or that type of flexibility, that type of strength, and it'll be easier to regain that stuff. The body is designed to try to be efficient and not waste energy on things. So when you don't use your flexibility, when you don't use your strength, you tend to start losing it. Especially if you're like super strong and at the peak of your genetic capabilities, your body's struggling real hard to try and keep up with that, right? So when you stop using those capabilities, your body's like, we don't need that anymore. Take back some resources. And that's kind of what happens when you start losing some of the flexibility or strength that you used to have. If you start training and you start training to get that strength back, it should come back really, 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 really fast. Gaining new strength, getting even stronger than you were before, that might not be any faster. But recovering what you used to already have, that should be a little bit easier and should come fast. Witness my fitness is also sending a vote of confidence and says, yeah, I think so as well. I'm hoping he makes it. Me too. Guy that says, amazing. And Witness my fitness says, you're so close. I have done your routine so many times. That's amazing. It's not an easy routine. It's not super hard. I try to make it so that it's recoverable so that you can keep doing it on a daily basis. Because at the end of the day, like as much as I care about the side splits and getting them, I care mostly about consistency. And I think that's the real value I can add to the internet. There's plenty of guides to teach you how to stretch and like have a really intense stretch, but it is so hard to stay consistent with those things. So I think my contribution to the world, at least at the moment, is to make sure that we do something that we can practice every single day so that you can build up the habit, you can build up the skill of consistency, so you can take away from this live what you need to go tackle all the other cool things that you want to do in your life with, some of the skills you develop here, working on side splits with me. Yeah. Traveler actually says, oh, definitely an advantage. Yes. If you already had a lot of flexibility, it will be a huge advantage. But like I said, super early, like 3 comments before that, if you did it as a super young kid, there is some elasticity in the muscles that is going to be involved, and that elasticity just goes away with age. It's literally like, I think it's a protein called elastin in your joints and in your legs and in your body and all everywhere that help you have stretchier muscles, right? Stretchier as in like it's like a rubber band. It can actually like the fibers of the muscle itself can have some elasticity. When you get old, the elasticity goes away, and it's sort of like when you're like a baby, you got like that squishy cheek, fat skin, and like you can squish and you can pull, and it'll like just come right back. As you get older, people tend to lose that elasticity. Same thing. Same thing is going on in your muscles. So some of your kid flexibility might be related to that elasticity you had innately in the muscles, and that elasticity might not quite be there anymore. So you might have to focus a bit more on relaxing the muscles to get the length because your muscles aren't contracted and they're relaxed. I hope that makes sense. Kind of went in circles a little bit, I think. Ganowski says, Ken, I'm sorry, I just started my new class. I'll get acclimated to my schedule soon. Ganowski, it's okay. You're practicing consistency by going to class and being a good student. That's important and that's good. Don't worry about it. Gayeta says, good luck this semester. Oh, I love the supportive environment. It's so cute. And Ganowski says, thank you. Okay. User 435-287-542-11943 says, I'm proud of you as well. You're amazing. Oh, compliments. I love this. Okay. Ganowski says, great job. I think we are pretty much through the chat. I appreciate all the good vibes, everybody. I really, really do. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for practicing consistency. Thank you for doing the workout with me. I hope you had fun. I hope you're moving a little bit better, a little smoother, especially if you've been on the live for a couple of months, like Ganowski, Travel with Roxy, Gayeta, Sheena. I don't know if she's been back in a little bit, but if you have been hanging out, we've been working out together. I hope you're seeing some progress. I hope you're moving better. I hope you're feeling better. I hope the good vibes from the live just makes your day a little bit better, because that's what we want to make fitness for you. Something a little bit more enjoyable while you make progress towards hard stuff. Cool? I hope you had fun. I'm ready to wrap up. There are a couple more comments on YouTube that I'm going to address, and then we will be done. On YouTube, Evan W 22 asks, how much do you squat? I don't know. I haven't squat in a really long time. I injured my back a really long time ago doing some weighted squats, and basically stopped squatting from that point onwards. I can do some body weight things pretty confidently. For example, pistol squats with good form and good control. And so I would imagine I could probably do, with both legs combined, probably like, I don't know, 200 pounds, 250 pounds, pretty reasonably comfortably. And then anything beyond that, I got no idea. Never tried it. But based on, the pistol squat, I think I'd probably be able to do something like that. Official Naruto-kun says or asks, where are you from, brother? I am from the US. Yeah. Cool. All right. I think that is all the questions. I'm ready to wrap up. It has been 90 minutes. Ooh, it's been a long one. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed the workout. And I hope you hit follow and subscribe, because we'll be here every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern to do more hip mobility, inside splits, and to move a little bit better. Cool. Bye. It's not closing. Now it's just me being awkward. Close.